everyone, this is Chris and Sandy Bent with the Chris and Sandy Show. We get up close and personal with some amazing guests. And today, we've got a great guest for you. We've got our first video interview of the show for the year. And we've got Ally Brooke coming on. She's done some great things out there from the past. She's doing some really great things in the future. I really believe the best is yet to come for Ally. We hope so anyway, right? We're going to talk about her story, the ups, the downs, the ugly, the good, the bad, everything. And then we're going to talk about God. We're going to talk about all that. You know, so we're definitely excited about what we see where this goes, and definitely talk about her book, because that's where this whole thing wraps up. So, Ally, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome, and I'm happy to be on the show. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for your time today. We're so excited to have you here.
Now, I always start the show the same way, and you're our 245th interview this year.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Wow.
Thank you.
And I always like to start it the same way. We're in a weird year.
We are.
And I always like to get each artist / guest opinion on this. So because we're in a weird year, how has COVID personally affected you, and what are you doing to maneuver through it?
Yeah, well, I started off this year with so many new adventures, and I share in my book. One of them was being on my very first headlining solo tour, and I was able to do 4 shows, but sadly it got cut due to COVID. I had like 20 left or 30 left, something like that. So that was so hard, packing up and going back home and not knowing, when I would return on the stage. And my my industry, the music industry, is all about traveling and interaction with, which is, now you can't do that, so that was like really hard to process and see, how am I going to continue on my my career with not having an audience and a guest, like you get to meet every day and travel. But thank God we have, we're in 2020 where we have, Zooms and FaceTimes and all of that. So that's been helping so much, in social media. So that's been a blessing for sure.
Yes, at least we have that.
When we first launched the show January 3rd, our whole goal, original plan, was to interview 100 people first year. We felt like, you know what? If we could pull off 100 interviews first year, we would be ahead of most hosts. We just figured that was, and then COVID happened. And I'm watching everything get shut down. I said, Sandy, I know that we're not supposed to look at it as opportunity, but man, this is our opportunity to shine. We just need to.
You have to be as positive as you can during these times, and of course it's so awful and horrible that it happened, but you got to take the good with the bad and just pray, and for a lot of people, they have to reinvent themselves right now. I know tons of musicians are doing the same thing, and of course people like you, the media and interviewers. So just being optimistic and trying to see the positive and go with that is awesome. That's all you can do, right, during these.
Because the crazy part of all of this is, if I told Sandy that 5 years from now we're like the size of a Bobby Bones show or a Ty Bentley show. That we're going to owe COVID to that.
Yeah.
Because COVID has really taken the show off. I mean, we, like yesterday, we had #1 best-selling author Karen Kingsbury on.
Oh, wow. I believe my friend.
Oh, and she said to say hey to you.
Yes, she did. We were like, tell her
you one of her shows. And it's called The Baxters. She wrote The Baxters, right?
Yes, The Baxters.
That's so crazy. Oh my God. Please tell her hi. That's such an honor. She's an incredible author. But yeah, my friend Macy McLean is on her show with Roma Downey. And yeah. Oh my God, so awesome.
So it's just been a crazy year. Before we really dig into your story, I always like to go a little light. So what are some hobbies you like to do outside of music? And this year you probably got more.
Right? I love to bake, and I've been doing a lot more cooking now, of course, as we all have. I love to write, of course. I don't know if this is a hobby, but I love watching film and TV. That is so it's so nice to just escape. I mean, especially during these times, if people are home. It's nice to be able to enter a different world, and just be creative whenever I can. Those are kind of it. Those are kind of the goals. I mean, excuse me, the different hobbies that I like to do. I do love to run too. Running is so great. For me, it's a nice release and such a great way to exercise for me. But those are some of the things that I like to do in different hobbies.
Love that.
Yeah.
So would you say is something quirky about you?
Ooh, that's a good question. Hold on. Quirky. Let's see. I'm very well. Maybe some people don't really know, but I'm like, well, my fans know, but maybe like new fans don't know that I love Frank Sinatra. He is my favorite male
Oh,
artist. I know like all of his songs, his music. I was watching his documentary a few weeks ago. He is like, I mean, just my everything. So that might be a quirky thing that you don't.
yeah, some people might consider that.
Love it.
He's
So, a lot of people ask, when did you know you wanted to do music? But I like to go a little deeper than that. When did that moment click that this could actually be a career for you?
mm, well, I talk in my book about the moment that I first sang and performed for the very first time at 9 years old. And that was that breakthrough, powerful moment when I said, oh my gosh, this is something that is so extraordinary and special. And I felt like this electricity go through me at such a young age, you know,
Mhm.
not really knowing, all the details and, I'm gonna do a career, but just knowing this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life forever. It filled me up like nothing else ever did or ever could. That was that moment. And then really around 12 years old, when my parents decided to pack up and take me to LA, that's when, even though I was so young and not sure of how the details and the realities of pursuing a music career and how hard it would be, but knowing at that age that this is what I want to pursue,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is a dream. That was it. So those two ages.
And that's a perfect lead into where I want this next part to go. Um, a lot of people, they see the glory of like a Blake Shelton, the glory of a Gwen Stefani,
Yeah.
glory of a Carrie. They don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles that it takes to get there. And I always like to tell a story where I want this to go in this next segment. We interviewed Allison Steele from Two Still Girls back in 2014. And I remember asking her a question that what advice would she give an up and coming artist? And I'll never forget her answer. She said, this is going to sound funny coming from someone full time, but if your heart will not allow you, will allow you to do anything outside, if you can see yourself doing something else, go do that and just keep music as a hobby. Because she said, because the moment you want it to be a career, your life, you no longer own it. Everybody owns a piece of it. Your friends and relatives never understand you. They invite you to weddings, to cookouts, to holidays, to barbecues, everything. But you got to say no, especially at the beginning when you're grinding it out, and they don't understand that their 9 to 5 is your 24/7.
Wow.
Then on top of that, your family around you has to sacrifice, not just you, the artist. Yeah, there are days you feel miserable, but you still got to get on that stage that night and just give it your all, even no matter how you feel. But then she added, but if your heart will not allow you to do anything outside, if you cannot see yourself doing anything else, then go all in. Because the only way that those kind of sacrifices could ever be worth it. What do you think of what she said? And let's talk about that side of it, because that kind of leads into your book a little bit.
you see me?
Yeah, I see you.
Yes, we can.
I see you.
Yes, we can see you and hear you.
Something froze, I guess.
Yeah, something probably.
Don't you love technology?
Yes, so dependent on it.
Hopefully, Hurrian connects back.
Hopefully so.
Oh, not maybe she'll log back in. Oh.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll get her back in a minute.
Yes, working on trying to get her back here. Never know what's going to happen with technology. Is she there? Yes, she's there.
Okay.
There you
Hey.
Something froze up.
Yeah. Don't you want technology?
Uh-oh. Froze again.
Oh.
Huh.
Oh, wow. Not sure.
Oh, there you are.
Yes, there she is.
Please, God, please, block the internet. Don't let it interview. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I was getting the chills while you said that. That is such a powerful answer. And it is, every word is true because you do sacrifice so much and you go through so much and you have to be willing to give up certain things about your life, certain parts.
Yeah.
Sanity is one of them. Sanity is one of them. And just, sometimes your childhood, I sacrificed my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And again, just knowing that it's worth it and it's something that you're willing to do is a very brave choice, not only for you, but for your family. And I'm just so thankful that my parents were there to root me on and to sacrifice that. My mom sacrificed her health for me. She had severe scoliosis. She could not stand straight. She would stand like this because her back was getting so bad, but she would travel for me. And she would be on planes and be in uncomfortable car rides and comfortable beds. I mean, that is love right there. And that is belief. And that's why this book means so much to me, because it's not just my story. It's their story. And it's a story of hope and redemption and love. But that answer was so true.
Yeah, because I think, and I always like to talk about that side of it, because I think nobody talks about it.
It's so important.
It's the most important thing out there. I want fans to understand what artists go through, and I want artists who are thinking about stepping over that line, what it really takes. Because everybody thinks they think there's all that glory, and until you get to the top, even at the top, from what people have told me, they still only have a little bit of glory. It's still so much grind, so much sacrifice, even at the Blake Shelton levels.
Oh yeah, totally. Have you ever interviewed Blake before?
No,
not yet.
We would love to.
I want to meet him so badly. He's awesome. And I love Gwen Stefani. I met her because Fifth Harmony was doing a Elma. We were filming Sesame Street, and she was there, and she was so gorgeous and so sweet. I was dying. Anyway, sorry.
Awesome. We love her. Yeah.
Now that we talked a little bit about the sacrifice, I like to go the other way and talk about the great moments.
Yes.
Because again, you got to talk about the glory side too. And I do want to say that I commend you for something in your book about being 27 and still a virgin. I was her only, even though she was 25.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that is
my first boyfriend, first everything.
And we just crossed 18 years of marriage.
Yes, October 5th.
Amazing! Oh wow, just recently. Congratulations!
October 5th, yeah.
Thank you.
Wow, such a huge thing, such a beautiful thing, and just congratulations. That is so awesome. Wow, I hope I can say that one day with a future husband. Yeah, so that's something that I chose to share. I was so nervous because I'm like, I had a hard time just being vulnerable in general, as I share in my book. But this was an opportunity to, for the first time, be brave and bear it all the highs and lows, all the good, bad, and the ugly, and also all of my personal choices. And that was one of them. And I'm so happy that I was able to share that and proud of that decision. It still holds true to this day. And, that's by doing that, I hope to empower other young women to own their own truth. And again, like I don't judge anybody for any other decision that they make in their lives. But it's so nice to share that and to feel that support from so many people who heard about it and who are loving on me. I think that is awesome. So thanks to everybody out there who's supporting that.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And talking about your faith a little bit, so you where we stand. We met online back in 2002 when it was it was taboo back then, of course.
Oh my gosh!
So,
back then I was like.
So we met on February 2nd of 2002. We talked on the phone for the first time February 4th. We set a wedding date February 18th, and we met in person March 4th. So we were meeting in person March 4th to see who we were going to marry, and we knew.
Wow, but y'all just knew, like somehow y'all.
Yeah,
we just knew God was there,
We did.
And I like to tell that story, especially to someone I know that has the faith that you have. So how has God impacted your life, and how do you guide that? Being in entertainment and faith almost don't mix in this day and time.
Totally, it is. You are so right about that. And it's been a journey and a long road to get to where I am. But you know what? So the Lord, He's been so good to me. I love that song. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. He is good to me. That's the song over my life. As soon as I was even born, I was born a premature baby, 1 pound, 14 ounces. And sadly, premature babies don't have a very high survival rate. But the Lord breathed life.
You're a miracle.
Yes. And He breathed life into me, and I was not supposed to have my lungs developed, but I came out screaming. Doctors and my parents like to say that I came out singing, and that's just my testimony right there, is that the Lord has covered me and watched over me my whole life. And as a young child navigating the business, feeling like I didn't fit in, like I looked different, being this young Mexican American girl with a big dream, and all the challenges that awaited me, to finally having success, and then having my faith seriously tested, everything from tons of rejection to people honestly just abusing me in the industry. There are really awful people out there who abuse their power, who demean you, who try to take advantage of you, who tell you you're not enough, you'll never be enough. It's awful, and things that really scar you. I had to endure that. I had to endure inappropriate behavior by executives, all but the Lord, again, He covered me, He protected me, and He got me out of a really bad time and really bad just situations, that occurred. And I did get made fun of for my faith. One of the instances was a song that Fifth Harmony had. We were trying to find a breakout hit, and this song had adult themes that weren't appropriate. These kids were underage. They were like 15, you know what I mean? And the label really just wanted that song and had pressure. And our one of the label people said, well, if I would have signed a Christian group, I wouldn't have signed them. And that was towards me. And I'm like, what is, like, I'm trying to do my best and trying to, be a positive leader and a positive example. And I'm showing up to work every day and working hard and never complaining and doing what you want me to do. This one time that, you say things, you're going to be really mean. And so I prayed. I said, God, please, help us to not do the song. Everyone, the girls were not comfortable with it. Then they started lines, And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to be the only one to stand up. And who knows? I mean, I don't know what this could lead to. It could lead to a really bad fight, or the label shelving us, which means basically they're gonna punish us for not, and not have our music out because of that. Anyways, just all these crazy things. But I prayed, and like God always does, he resolved that, and our manager came back and said, the song is done, you're not doing it. And I just cried tears of joy. And I'm like, thank you, God. He helped us in that moment.
Situation.
Well, because we've looked back even today. This year we've had a lot of faith, not just what everything's going through, but Sandy had a 14-pound fibroid pulled out of her
in June 30th.
Oh God.
He took pictures of it to show me, and that thing was huge. It was unbelievable, but I'm doing well now. I'm about 4 months post-op, doing well. God brought me through that.
Wow. Amen. And look
so good.
And I owe everything to her, because I went through 19 years of addictions until God healed me almost 13 years ago. In fact, December 26th will be 13 years sober.
Oh, amen. Well,
in the first 5 years of our marriage, she went through a lot of crap because of the addictions. But she never put me down. She never nagged me. She loved me through the addictions. And sometimes, you know what's crazy is sometimes people will, when they hear our story, will say, "Oh, she just let you walk over her." And I'm like, you don't understand. She allowed me to experience God's pure love through her.
Wow. And look, you overcame. And sometimes, everybody has their problems. Families will have their problems. We have our, I've had our share of stories. And the thing is, knowing, obviously when to, set boundaries and stuff, but having those where you do feel like, dang, I've got to be there for this person and support and show them God's love. And that is so hard. And like you said, you have to really understand it. Obviously, you're not saying to take abuse or accept any of that.
No, of course not.
But if you love someone, you'll feel when it's appropriate to be there and love them through it and guide them through it. Because sometimes people just need help and need love and need support and need a hand to hold during a hard time. So I commend you. That's not easy. And look, I mean, praise the Lord that you're healed, from that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, because I never hit her, and I never cheated. I didn't. If I'd crossed those lines, she'd have left. But I crossed a lot of lines that I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And I remember back in 2010, after I was healed, because I was healed in 2007, or to help our marriage grow, we were going to a lot of marriage conferences and all that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I sat her down, and I'll never forget. I looked her in the face, because I knew that it was time for her to heal from the pain that I caused.
Wow.
So I said, okay, tell me what I put you through. Tell me everything. I was like, I will just be quiet and listen. And I'll be honest, 45 minutes in, I was like, what have I done? Because I was hearing things I didn't know. and she laid it out, but I knew this was her moment to heal.
That was so healing. So important for us in our relationship.
Oh my!
And then it wasn't what about a year or two later, we were pregnant with our first one.
Yes. Yeah, 1 year later.
What a testimony. And you and your story, I'm sure, has helped so many people. And to know that it is possible, you can be free from that. It's incredible, and it's amazing what the Lord does. Through people and to people. And sometimes you have to wait. You have to be patient, but it's possible. With God, all things are possible. And I'm just inspired hearing your story. And that's so beautiful. It's amazing.
Well, we definitely appreciate it. Now, we talk about a lot of struggles and now let's talk about the other side of it, where God has blessed you.
Yeah.
Tell us of some moments in your past where you look back and you're like, wow, that just happened.
Yes. Oh man. I mean, I had a lot of those moments in Fifth Harmony too. You
Mhm.
landing for the first time in Brazil, having all these thousands of fans waiting for us. I mean, they're running to our cars. They're waiting outside the airport. And I put a story of that in the book. And that,
Mhm.
whoa, we felt like the Beatles in that moment. And then also
Wow.
sweeping, these award shows, breaking records, over
Right.
2 billion views on a video. And man, it's like those are the moments that I'm like, oh my gosh, we did that together. That is amazing. And being man, we would perform at stadiums for uh for radio shows, and that felt like whew, just this great the amount of success traveling the world. That was a ride, and that was something that I'm proud of. So there's that rush there. And then being a solo artist, finally figuring out, everything in my music,
Yeah.
being on everything from like uh, Dancing with the Stars,
Yeah.
beginning my very first headlining solo tour, to now filming my first movie. I mean, it's just,
Wow, that's exciting.
it is incredible. It is like, again, as you'll see in my book, I've been through so much.
Rosie,
Technology.
hopefully we make it up. There
she is.
you are.
Yes.
Please. But
Gotta love technology.
right, you gotta love it. But God opened up those doors, and God, I had to wait for many, many, many long years and endure a lot of storms. But just showing the readers and my audience that it is possible to overcome anything and to come out on the other side, and to be victorious. That's the message of the book, the true message. And just to be able to be where I am in my life it's exhilarating. And I credit it to God and to my parents who were there for my brother to support me through it all.
And I love that. And there's something that we like to do on the show that I think
Oh, yes. We
needs to
always
be
do this.
heard. As you know, that people see you as the artist, but they don't see the PR people. They don't see the managers, producers.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, I don't think they get enough love for what they do. Because you can't be who you are. So I always like to give the artist a chance to talk about their team. So if you want to tell us about the team that helps you be who you are, that would be awesome.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, well that's awesome for me to be able to share that, because they deserve so much. And I was able to talk about them in my book and share the journey. But I want to give a shout out to one of my managers named Will Bracy. He was there to help me in so many situations, in one of my darkest moments in Fifth Harmony, to now transitioning to a solo artist and fighting with me, with me, not fighting with me, but like together we fought dreams. and, and he was there to guide me and to pray over me and to fill me up with love and encouragement when I needed it the most, and to fill me up with faith even when I'm like, Lord, I don't have faith right now. This is impossible. And then he really, he changed my life, because he led me to all the right doors. He's the reason why I signed with Charles Chavez, who is my manager and my label person. So it's them two who are on my team. Charles believed in me when I walked into his office, and he was there to say that I believe in you, I see your vision, and he has brought it to life. And between the three of us, we've been through so much together, lots of highs and lows, but they empower me to be who I am, to stay true to my values, to not waver, in this crazy business that's always trying to take from you. And it's been incredible. So they work so hard. They never get sleep. They never have a personal life, but they do it because they truly love me. And it's a priceless gift to have that. And especially coming from, a place where I didn't feel any of that. Now I'm being empowered and being loved on and cared for, and they care for my mental health. They care for all of that. So
Important.
That's so important.
yes, it's important, and God bless them. They changed my life.
Now, I can tell that your parents are so much behind you,
Yeah.
and you probably have 1,000 stories. I'm looking for the one that stands out a little bit. Where tell us a story where they went above and beyond for your career, and you're like, wow, they get this is my passion.
Oh my, many times, literally thousands of stories. But one of them I share in my book. So this is way before any of my success. I was like 14 years old, performing at a high school in Los Angeles, and just seeing my parents. They printed out flyers for me to promote my MySpace page.
Yes, remember MySpace.
Yes, to help me. And my dad, would be at these schools handing out flyers to all these kids shamelessly, because he wanted to promote his daughter. And that's exactly just an example of who my parents are. They go above and beyond, and they make a way even when it's hard or they have to be creative. They were there to always support their daughter and to tell people about their daughter, to spread my music, to spread my artistry. And they're my number one fans, and I love them to death. And on X Factor, when I was doing my audition, they printed out shirts that said "Shining Star Ally Brooke," and you see them.
That is awesome. And we love families that are together, and we kind of consider our show a family affair. In fact, we started a little media company called Family Affair Media that will run everything because we are Family Affair. We've got an 8-year-old that
a third
co-host we call.
He today.
So Sandy's gonna get him real quick.
He's a big fan.
And we've got a 19-month-old daughter that when she gets older, she'll be plugged into our show too.
Oh my gosh, that is so cute. I mean, that's the dream, right? Having a part of what you love.
Exactly. And she's kind of a miracle baby because she was in her tummy with that fibroid. So
yeah,
that is crazy.
Hi, Annie. What's your favorite food?
Hi, Angel. My favorite food? Ooh, Mexican food. I love tacos and enchiladas. What about you?
Mine is pizza.
Ooh, that's my second favorite. I love pizza. I can eat it every single day. You're so dope. But what's your name, love?
Chris.
Hi, Chris. I heard you watched my episode of Blue's Clues.
Ooh, yes.
So cute.
So when's the last time you had a question from an 8-year-old?
Right? It's been a very long time. I don't think at least
We're a little different.
We try to make our show different. When I first launched the show in January, I was like, how can we be different? Now, granted, being a married couple, there's very few hosts that are married couples out there.
Yeah, I know.
But I wanted something even more different than that. And as I'm watching other stuff, I'm like, people don't have enough time to really talk. I want the story behind the artist.
Right, the real stories.
The stories, the raw stories. I don't want just I ask question, the answer. I want it to be a conversation, a raw conversation between us and the guests, to where when people are listening, they're like, oh, we're kind of eavesdropping on a conversation.
Yeah, I love it. Those are my favorite type of interviews, honestly, because you really get to connect with people and get to know the real story, and it's something really like special when that happens. So I love that. This interview is awesome. Thank you.
We appreciate that.
So appreciate it.
So if you could co-write with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and what would you want to write about?
That is such a great question. Wow. Frank Sinatra, of course.
Yeah.
Should have known that one.
I mean, I would ask every question in the book. Also, my mom and we just adore Dolly Parton. She's just
Love her. Yes.
Yeah, she's such
Amazing.
and just like an angel, and just to be able to be in her presence would be unbelievable. Also, Whitney Houston, man,
Wow. So incredible. Yes.
incredible, and she's just a definition of a legend and a voice and an icon and such greatness. Oh man, that would have been amazing. So that those people, and then also of course Selena Quintanilla, she's my
Of
favorite
course. She
ever.
was amazing.
Yes, and just to just ask her, how was it like, singing this song or seeing this. She
Uh-huh.
broke barriers for young Latin women like myself to pursue our dreams. So many wonderful people to choose from.
So now you'll probably have there's probably going to be 1,000 answers to this next question, but just think of the first thing that pops in your head.
Yeah.
What is a song you've heard that you wish you wrote?
I always love to say "I Want to Dance with Somebody" by Whitney Houston. That song is
Classic. Awesome.
everybody loves it. Everybody knows
Yeah.
it. Everyone happy. So that's one. It's one of my favorite songs ever.
This past February made the 5-year anniversary that we asked Kelsey Ballerini where she wanted to be in 5 years. And I always like to kind of tell that story before I ask that same question to the artist, because whether you're a up and coming artist like she was then, or whether you're already established like yourself, you got to have goals. You got to have a vision. And the vision she had back then is actually how she's living right now. It's really crazy to watch, to remember what she said versus what she's living. So knowing that, and knowing everything that you've done and accomplished so far in your life, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Where do you still want to be in 5 years?
Oh, wow. I mean, there is so much on my list. I feel like my life is just beginning in a way. And for me, of course, to have so much more music out, to have many albums, to have a Spanish album, to collaborate with some of my favorite artists, to have a world tour, to complete my tour, that I started, and to write several more books, children's books,
Yeah.
part 2 and maybe 3. But, being in more film and TV, maybe directing one day, maybe producing one day. I have so many different scripts and different concepts that I'm writing for other artists. Gosh, there is so much. I want to one day open a school for children or something for children. Maybe open a hospital for children, just dreaming big, and
Yes. That would be amazing.
Open a little sanctuary for animals, do something with those dogs and kitties and animals that need love and need homes.
Yeah.
Things on my list.
I love that. So let's say that you look 5, 10, 15 years down the road and you're a success on a large scale, larger than what you already are. Whatever that looks like, you're there. You're at the top. If who you are today could meet your future self, what would you tell or remind her?
I would remind her that the best is still yet to come, because the reward is the eternal place, is heaven, is being reunited with our Father and our Maker, and being reunited with our loved ones too. God knows what's in my future. But just reminding her that, and also just being on your knees every day, praising the Lord, thanking the Lord. That's what I would remind her, and just to give her a big old hug and say, "We did it!
We did it! Like we did it!" I love that. Staying on advice, let's say you have a friend of yours, you heard him or her sing, and they got some, as Simon Cowell would say, they got that hit factor. They've played maybe 40 or 50 shows, so they're still getting their feet wet on the performance side. Now this would be pre-COVID advice, of course.
Yeah.
And let's say they've gotten on stage and they got what every artist says, that stage bug, where they look over the crowd's roaring for them. They know they're in the right place. And they come to you and they say, Ally, I know I'm supposed to do this with the rest of my life. What advice would you give that specific person to help guide them the next few years?
I would say to keep on keeping on, keep performing, keep writing, keep putting yourself out there, even if you have every door shut in your face or all the doors open. Keep being hungry, keep going after it, and enjoy the ride while you're in it too, and don't let the destination stop you from the beauty of the journey and the drive. That's what I would say. That's what has helped me, in moments when everything hit the fan and all the doors closed, and being like, I'm trapped or I'm stuck or I'm lost or whatever. That continuing to have that fighting spirit, to be strong and to just pursue what you love. It's so worth it, and beautiful things will happen. Sometimes even in pursuit of our dreams, sometimes you'll even be led this way and you'll be like, this was part of the plan, but it's meant to be, and God's using it for your good. So
well, that's just like for the show, it started out being just a music show. Yeah. And I guess a few weeks ago I started realizing a lot of your bigger artists are starting to get really busy.
Yeah.
So time is starting to get limited. And I'm like, okay, what do we do? All of a sudden I felt a nudge of God to pivot some. And because of that, we've decided to broaden the show to, instead of just a music show, we want it to be an entertainment interview platform where we interview artists, actors, athletes, and authors.
Wow.
And that's why Karen was on a week ago or so. We had Olympian Scott Hamilton on.
That's crazy.
So all of a sudden we've got this whole new base coming, and we're like, and we know God. And again, Sandy and I are all each night. We're like, we almost pinch ourselves because we're just us.
That is
an honor to have someone like you on our show.
Oh my gosh. Well, I am so thankful to be on here, and this is such a great, beautiful, real discussion. And congratulations to y'all. Like, it's just amazing seeing what God can do in people's lives, and like how He can change it around. Like, did you ever imagine y'all would be here today, having 200 interviews in 1 year?
We would never thought on January 1st.
This last year when I told Sandy it's time to take our show to the next level, because at that time we were just running New Country Buzz website.
Right.
And I was like, it's time to go up the next level and interview people. And I remember Sandy saying, well, what do we call the show? I was like, well, what else? The Chris and Sandy Show.
Oh, exactly.
And she was like, are you sure it worked? I was like, well, it worked for Ty Bentley. It worked for Bobby Bones. And when you look at all the big shows out there, when it's a single person or two people, it's usually their names.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oprah Winfrey, I was like, you know what? If it's supposed to work, it'll work, and God will make a way. Because there are people that will private message us and ask, how are you getting these guests? And I'm like, I don't know. It's God. It's all God here.
Literally. And people might be like, huh? But you're like, it's just true. Literally, only God can like make X, Y, and Z happen in my life. It's awesome.
Because we might have the opportunity. Now, this is not a done deal, but it's 99% locked in. But at the end of the month, we're supposed to be getting legendary actor Ed Enzer.
Yes, and as from the Mary Tyler Moore Show, the legend.
Again, we're just us, and we're just sitting here like, this ain't supposed to happen to people like us.
You're like, man, that's incredible. That is awesome. That's a true success story, and a true story of just like following your heart and what it says. And man, that can lead to the road that you never even dreamed of.
Absolutely.
And because I never want the show itself to be a spiritual show. And we do go spiritual like with you. We do. On some episodes, we go spiritual. I don't want people to think got to be spiritual to come on the show. So we're about stories. And so we're starting a second podcast called Enduring the Storm. It's going to be fun. And it's because we're writing a book on our story called Enduring the Storm, about finding strength through faith and perseverance. Because that's been our story. It's faith and perseverance.
Yes.
And I thought, you know what? Why not do a podcast built around that same concept? When we bring guests on who've been through some storms, they've been through some crap, and they found strength through faith and perseverance. And we're launching that in the next couple of weeks too.
Yeah.
Oh, she's froze.
Technology.
I just love technology. Hopefully
She'll pop back up here in a second. Hopefully.
Oh, she locked out, so hopefully she'll come back in and we'll get her back one last time. Well, almost. Oh.
Yes.
My
There
God.
you are.
You gotta love technology.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Right. Yeah, a couple more questions, right?
Yeah, we're almost finished, and hopefully we can get this last bit in.
Yeah,
There you are.
she is.
Oh.
We see you.
We see you. Your side's like really freezing.
Yes.
No.
Forget
you
what
I heard something. Oh,
There she is.
It's like, okay, God, open it up.
You gotta open it up. This is
There
such
you
a
go.
good.
We said that. And it's freezing again.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There you are.
Hopefully we can get to finish this out.
I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know.
Oh,
what's
no problem.
That's the bad thing about technology. You
Yeah.
just don't know what's going to happen,
Yes.
especially video.
Yes.
You can hear me?
We can hear you. You sound fine. Yes.
Awesome. I'm gonna stay right here.
Okay. Want to add in my little segment of questions since this is our first video interview? He's usually the one that asks the questions. I'm going to have a couple. All right. If you could go on vacation anywhere in the world, where would you want to go?
Ooh, okay. Man, I would love to go to Hawaii or like Jamaica or somewhere tropical, just to be on the beach and to kind of just, I love the ocean, so just to kind of escape, be in that.
Mhm. Awesome. And if you could describe your music to someone who's never heard it before, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as positive, fun, empowering, uplifting songs. That was always what I had in my heart since a little girl, and now I get to finally create songs that I love. So that's what I would say. And also, I just had a new song come out today, Afrojack. It's called "What Are We Waiting For?" and it's very 80s meets today's vibes. So go check it out. Go get it everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, YouTube.
Oh, we'll definitely be checking that out. And what do you want the legacy of your music to be? What do you want to be known for with your music?
Oh, she froze again.
So that's the last question. Maybe we can get her back to answer that.
Hopefully we can.
Hopefully.
Up there.
There she is.
There you are.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, now she froze again.
Well, to wrap it.
And it's bad. We're about wrapping it up right now. There you go. There you are.
Testing.
Yep.
Tessie, it's working. We hear you.
I'm sorry. Okay. I would want to be known for
Oh.
Trying to stop you.
Yeah. Try to stop it.
Let her pop. She's gonna pop back in here.
Yes, she will. So we can hear her answer.
There you
There
go.
she is.
Okay, please, Lord, bless the internet. Okay, I would want to be known for my positivity and light and the heart that I gave in everything that I do, whether it's big or small, whether it's a fun, uplifting record or it's a ballad from the heart. That is what I would want to leave behind for my family and for the rest of time.
Love that.
Love that.
I always like to end the show on the same question that I give everybody.
Yeah.
What is the question that you wish hosts like us would ask, but they kind of never do?
Oh my
Ah, freezing again.
Oh. And that was the last question.
Oh,
Oh, here she is.
hopefully she comes back.
Yeah,
in.
hopefully we can get that in.
is going on?
Oh, there
Testing.
you are.
Yes, you're back.
You're back.
Yes.
Oh, now you're not. We can see you, but
Yes, we can
but
see
you're
you.
froze.
Yeah, it's frozen again.
There you are.
Yes.
Thought it was. Hopefully she comes back real soon.
Hopefully.
Oh, there. I see
Can you
you.
hear us?
Can you see my chat?
We can see you.
Is now
We
better?
can hear you now.
Now we can hear you. Yes, it's working.
Okay.
I'll get it.
You have done such an awesome job. I love that this is totally from the heart and such a real conversation. I love that you're really leaning on the positive, questions and the real questions. So I love that. I feel like sometimes reporters just love to try to make drama or whatever. I'm not about that. That's just not the type of artist that I am. So I really do appreciate that you have been so real and loving and positive during this interview and thoughtful with your questions and respecting me and my story. So thank you, Chris and Sandy. You guys are awesome. And I'm so sorry for
Oh, we understand. No problem.
So
But-
tell everybody how they can get your stuff.
Yes. How
yes.
they can reach you and pick up your music and your book.
Yes, you guys can follow me everywhere on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Ally Brooke, on YouTube as well, subscribe, and also follow me on Spotify and download my music. I hope that you love it. I hope it makes your heart happy and makes you feel good. So thank you so much.
We loved having you. We really enjoyed having you on. We definitely look forward to having you back down the road.
Yes.
Me too, and you guys totally have to come do a show. Thank y'all, Andy.
Yes, absolutely. Christopher will be excited.
I can't wait, and give your babies hugs for me, and God bless you. Stay safe out there and healthy, and thank you again for such an awesome interview.
Oh, thank you so much for your
And
time
you have a
today.
blessed day.
Have a blessed
You
day.
too. You have a blessed day. God bless you guys. I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right.
Sounds
Bye.
great. Bye.